Welcome to Catchin Up Podcast.
Who? What up?
Catchin Up Podcast. Welcome to Catchin Up Podcast.
What's going on, people? How y'all doing out there?
Well, we're doing pretty good there. So, thanks for asking, man. We're here.
So that will be people from the UK. Now we just fucking with y'all, man. Welcome to Catchin Up Podcast. It's your boy Mark. We got Loon and we got Ange, man. So we gonna talk our shit today. So
yes, sir.
It's been forever. How have you guys been, man?
Man, it's been a crazy weekend, month. It's 2017. I don't know. What the fuck? Why the fuck I say 17?
It has been a long week for him.
I don't know why I was thinking the 7th of March and I added the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So
it's not even March 7th.
I know. I was thinking the 7th. Hey, y'all ever just like think about some numbers and it just get mixed up in your head? You know what I mean? I know I'm not the only one with that problem. But anyway, we're going to skip past my mistake. What's going on with you, Ange?
Let's see. Since the last time I've seen you guys, I've just been working. Been working out, attempting to live a healthier lifestyle. My baby's turned 7 on Friday. Blessings. Man. Other than that, that's really it, man. I don't really got too much going on. Okay. Just, I'm blessed, prospering, glowing up. How have you been?
Out here glowing and shit. Man. Woo. It's been a long, man. It was a long, rough month for me, actually. Mm-hmm. And, man, I'm still here, though. So, I'm blessed. Good. Life is good. I'm healthy. Man, I can't complain. That's all I can say. I'm making it. I'm here.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're here to talk some shit today, bro. We got some hot shit.
We got a lot of shit to talk about. But before we talk about the hot shit, did anyone go to the Meek Mill concert?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yes, we did, in fact.
That was dope. I came fashionably late, so I didn't get a chance to see Cash Doll and Lil Durk, but...
Cash Doll was there?
Yeah, she opened up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Apparently, I don't know.
Shaking them booty cheeks.
Oh.
Sure was.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was pretty dope. To me, I felt like it... I don't know if I was just too drunk or something, but that show was short. It seemed short as fuck. Like, I mean... I don't know. He performed all the good songs from championships. Meek Mill, he's an artist that I really listen to. I got, 4 of his albums right now on my Apple.
How is he as a performer?
As a performer, I think he's pretty dope. Going up there, for anybody that's rapping, man, you're going to need some water, a break. So I just commend anybody that's going to be on stage to do all that. You know what I mean? So, what you think, Lo?
Man. I, too, was fashionably late.
Niggas.
I know that's CP time.
Yeah, we was on CP time. But I will say this. I thought Meek, it was a good performance. He's not one of those energetic, in your face, he ain't got a lot of shit going on. He's one of them get the message across type performers where you gon' feel the message when you leave the building. And, I ain't gonna say I left with a motherfucking message or anything like that, but I left okay. I like Meek. He was cool, but, he was just kind of standing there. It was a good performance, though, because that's just, happens to be his case. But I did catch the, I don't even know if that was the tail end of Durk's performance. I don't know who the fuck was out there, but.
Oh, it was some local.
Oh, it's some local niggas? Oh, okay. Anywho, didn't get to see Durk.
Just some local niggas.
But, man, my thing is, these goddamn concerts starting at 6 o'clock. Nigga, like, damn, man, can a nigga get a little drink in his system, get a little smoke? Something?
Why did it start at 6?
I don't think it really started at 6, but I'm just saying.
But most of these shows, when they say they start at 7, they really ain't gonna start at 9:30. I mean, they on CP time just as well.
That's that 16 and up shit, bro.
So, sounds right.
One thing I will say, man, make the fucking concerts 18 and up, bro. I'm so sick and tired of. I think we left the concert at what, 10:30, 10 o'clock, and we got there at 9. Hell.
Yeah, 8:45, 9 o'clock.
It's like shit.
Yeah.
Did you leave early or did you watch the whole thing?
The whole thing, it was over. It was over 10:30.
Over, niggas out the door.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. So I mean, I could kind of tell it was kind of gonna be different because he already popped out with the what's that joint? That Uptown Vibes. I feel like that's more of a closer than an opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's an energetic joint.
yeah, Liddy again, like with Tory Lanez. I feel like those are two dope ass songs. He should have waited till the end. So it made me feel like, damn, what is he gonna perform at the end? And I known it was that Dreams and Nightmares, which has been a hit since 2012. 7 years?
I can't even front. I'm over fucking Dreams and Nightmares.
Nigga, you.
I'm over the song, especially
Stop
at Dorchester.
playing it.
I hate when they play that song.
Yeah,
In the club, we are through with Dreams.
Y'all thought I was winning? Yeah, I'm over
He got
all
better
that
shit now, though.
Yeah, he do.
Exactly, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
with a little lick in your system.
Hang that up, though, man. Hang that up, y'all. Hang that up, Dorchester. And that's real shit.
Oh man.
What else happened this week? Meek Mill concert. I feel like there was some other shit going on. Some other concerts. Did you guys do anything else? I don't know, any conventions. The Little People convention's going on.
Oh yeah, the midgets.
Little People.
Little people. Not
Yeah.
familiar with.
It's a whole bunch of midgets. I don't really know what they do, but
Oh, okay.
that's going on
yeah,
right
there's
now.
a lot of them in Denver too.
Little People convention.
That's crazy. You would think like they got a convention like that. I ain't never really seen midgets like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like,
Go down to the Sheridan. You'll see all of them.
I watched the Little Midget
Like-
show before, nigga. It was one cute little midget nigga, but that's it. But I don't know. Like what? Fucking a midget? How the fuck would that be?
yeah, like I don't know.
Like, what if I went to the Little People convention and met me a little midget wife? Like, yeah, girl, we gonna have us some kids. She was like,
I wonder if
nigga,
the
no, the
kids
fuck
gonna
we
be
ain't.
large instead of medium.
Baby, don't you want a son taller than you? Don't you want a
I
son
know,
taller
right?
than you,
Yeah, how's
baby?
that gonna be? Like, how would that happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not attracted to midgets. I bet the sex would be fun though.
Wow.
Would it be fun to y'all?
That's some experimental shit, bro.
Yeah, that
Huh?
should be crazy.
I don't know, bro. I would just have to
You could put a
try it.
midget in a lot of
I had
different
to give me a
positions.
little midget.
I ain't letting no midget hit. So point blank period. My personality is way too aggressive for that shit.
man.
You need to be this tall to talk to me.
Oh man.
Speaking of fucking, R. Kelly has been indicted
man, that
again
man.
on 9 felony counts, 10 felony counts, 10 charges pretty much of sexual abuse. I think 8 charges of sexual abuse and then 2 for having sex with a minor. There has been evidence that was presented that he was recording himself and a girl makes a statement, something along the lines like, ooh, you like this 14-year-old pussy? And he says, yes, I like that 14-year-old pussy. Is that enough evidence to convict him?
Man, I mean that's pretty crazy.
Man, I'm gonna say that the way niggas' minds are set up in the criminal justice system nowadays, it ain't gonna stick. I could be like, maybe that's not me personally, obviously, but I could come with a simple, maybe that's a fetish of mine, and that's none of y'all business. Unless the little girl her face is on camera and she's confirmed 14, his lawyers could be like, shit, maybe he's just saying that as some type of sick fantasy that, niggas like, how, niggas be having weird sexual desires and shit that they like going on and shit. But that's a defense that he could use, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
different lawyers, different
me
perspectives.
personally, I don't think
You don't think he's going to be convicted?
to stick. I think it's enough to get indicted, but I don't think it's enough to stick because do they have the 14-year-old girl? Do they know who she is? Has she been identified? Do they know that she's 14?
This in the video. I mean, that could be a point that the lawyers could make. You know what I mean? Because that's just their job, just reaching out from a different perspective to defend their client. So, I mean, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, like there's been a lot of stuff going on with R. Kelly. Everybody sees on the internet. So.
How arrogant do you have to be to go kick it at McDonald's, to go post at high schools, to get charges, to have these allegations, excuse me, happen beforehand, get acquitted of those, and 10 years, 12 years later, however long it's been. Oh, hold on. Let's throw in there, too, that they came out with a documentary of how you were locking up and mistreating young girls and preying on young girls and molesting young girls. And then have another video released after they just put this documentary out?
Yeah,
they on your ass.
Yeah. I mean, look, R. Kelly, look, if this was 05, 06, you probably wouldn't have gotten too much trouble like the way you are now. But social media is such a big platform to where you are so exposed to so many things.
Look, Robert, if you out there,
you ain't shit.
Molesting.
Niggas ain't shit, dude.
Raping these young
little
girls, bro.
Yeah. There's nothing you should find attractive about a 13,
weird.
14-year-old woman being that age. You know what I mean?
What about the 14, 13-year-olds nowadays versus the 13 and 14-year-olds back in the day?
They want to be adults.
Man, I don't think that's changed. I think, in terms of, everybody wants to be grown when they're young. I don't think that's the difference now. Honestly, it's our job to be mindful of, how we interact with the youth.
When you say our mind, who are you speaking directly?
The adult.
Okay.
It's our job to be mindful of that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take advantage of a 14-year-old because I know she may not be that intellectually at that point yet to understand maybe the concepts or the trickery or whatever the fuck I'm trying to pull to, give her to do whatever I'm trying to do if I was a R. Kelly kind of nigga. She don't know that. So it's our job as adults to, be mindful of that from the jump. Remember, and we was just having this conversation off topic about us being at the concert and, niggas getting drunk, just having fun, being in our own zone.
Right, yeah.
And just out of sight, out of mind, not thinking okay, this is a 16 plus concert. Some of these girls in here looking young and, you don't know what the fuck.
What age they might be.
Yeah. Or if they lying to you or what's next. You know what I'm saying? So that's my responsibility. It's not, I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to leave I'm not going to give them that power, to put me in that position where.
That's what separates an adult from a child.
Yeah, real shit. Yeah. That decision making,
because whether the concert was 21 and up or 16 and up, it could be unfair to different parties. The 16-year-old is old enough to be at a concert, but shutting that down might mess up the money that the venue's supposed to make.
Right.
Or it can be if it is 21 and up, what would the difference be? So I think that was a talk that maybe those people that organize their stuff have in order for everybody to enjoy the concert.
I mean, it's equivalent to movie ratings. Movies being G-rated, PG, PG-13, rated R.
That's right. Yeah. I guess it just depends on the age. Certain things, even buying a video game, a mature rating is 17 plus, not 16.
Buying cough syrup.
Yeah, certain things like that. So that different areas of whether it's a concert, cough syrup, a video game, a strip club, a bar, everybody's restricted at a certain age, but it's just like you said, we're responsible, LaDon. So we're responsible to know where we gonna draw that line of where we could come across. You know what I mean? Knowing that somebody's 21 or up, hey man, you want a shot? And, somebody coming in with a fake ID that's 19, hey, you want a shot? It's a big difference with that,
So who's responsible in drawing that line? Is it R. Kelly or is it the girls?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
I think it lies on you.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah,
it does. It does. I'm a firm believer in that too. But period, it takes two.
Yeah,
you know
like
if I'm not tangling, you could tangle by yourself, and that's cool. But
Yeah,
I ain't gonna come tangle with you if you not my age, not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's where like it could be like me and you might say, yo, a 14-year-old girl that want to tangle, like I don't want no parts of that. Yeah. But for him, he enjoys that. Like according to the video, right?
The nigga said.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you mentally there's something not there, you know? So it's like, but the little girl's enjoying it. So should we call it rape? But then again, it's like
maybe she, and this is what I said, maybe she's not intellectually.
But technically, he wasn't raping her. If she's saying you like this 14-year-old pussy,
he's not raping. He's not raping her, but I feel like he's manipulated her too.
Yeah,
I agree with that all the way.
I ain't gonna say I know how to manipulate
against her
woman,
will,
but I know what's gonna get a woman that want to go home with me. At least I think I do. I know what's gonna get a woman to want to go home with me and have sex with me. You know what I'm saying? That may be seen as manipulative, but when she's also a grown woman, she has that ability to have that decision making.
Yeah.
When she's a child, I feel like as children, you need more of that space. You know, you got to make them mistakes, but you're still in that learning realm. You're still figuring it out. So that's where, back again, the responsibility falls on me. I need to be, you know, the party that says, nah, I can't tangle with you. I'm this and you 14. Nah, hell no, girl.
And you see, that's where upbringing and how you were raised come into play. Because his upbringing, and as according to the documentary, he was molested at a young age.
Hey, man, I don't want to hear about that shit, R. Kelly. Hey, man.
Yeah,
stop using your past inequities.
The people in the future.
Yeah, stop using that as, you know what, man,
as a
fuck
crutch.
that excuse.
A lot of motherfuckers was molested.
Yeah.
You
not to
go get you some help, nigga.
Take it away from the victims, but
get you some fucking help, nigga, like the rest of motherfuckers do. And quit blaming and projecting it onto these young women.
Yeah,
because you don't know how else to handle how to fuck or what the fuck you going through. Go get you some help, nigga. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Real, yeah. Go talk to somebody.
From personal experience, like I was 14 years old and I was in a relationship with a dude who I'm pretty sure at the time he was probably like 20 or 21. And I wouldn't consider him a pedophile. I know when I was 14, like I was developed a lot older.
That's not.
What you trying to say?
That's not. You don't dictate that though, but because he knew better than.
But what I'm saying is like I wouldn't consider him like at the time and even still to this day, like me and him are still close, and now he sees me as an adult, but he wasn't the type of dude that was intentionally preying on 14, 15-year-olds. It happened to be a situation where we ended up meeting each other. We had a conversation where we ended up clicking. I don't know if I ever told him my age.
Okay.
He knew I was under 18, but I don't know if he knew I was 14. But the reason why I brought that up is because I think.
Yeah, I'm like, I
don't want to get on camera about your homie, but.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I think R. Kelly's case, maybe if he came across like I think Aaliyah was super special. Do I justify it? No, not at all. But Aaliyah was fucking special. But nigga, you 40 years old and you're still preying on 14, 15-year-olds. Now you know better. Yeah. And that's where the whole accountability piece needs to happen.
Yeah. Nigga has no sense of accountability.
And my thing is, where are these kids' parents? That's what I'm tripping about.
Southside Chicago. I don't know. Where were parents?
What Michael Jackson was doing with them white kids?
Nah, but them white kids had money, though. I think the little girls in Chicago, I think their parents is probably working like 12-hour shifts and hoping that they child do right.
Oh, okay. I could kind of see that.
And which makes me say why R. Kelly really needs to go to fucking jail, because he's playing the system, kind of like going back to niggas ain't shit. Like, you know what the fuck you doing is wrong. You ain't picking up no rich white girls. You ain't even picking up rich white black girls. You are intentionally staging and praying and picking out the people who you want to predict. I mean, who you want to part of that.
That's part of being manipulative. Like,
which is why his ass need to like go to jail, or he need to do something. I would say go broke.
He
but
don't see nothing wrong with it, and that's probably.
I don't see nothing wrong. Little bit of bump and grind.
That's really fucking. That's a damn problem too.
Yeah. You know, it's just that his upbringing was going on with him. So he's at war within himself, so he'd take it out.
And not just that, everyone else around him enabled him. They were all aware. They were all like, we're not really sure.
Money get to making you act funny.
That is true. He might have been paying them boys.
He was. That's why that nigga's broke.
Money make you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's true.
Money make you shut the fuck up. So with that same energy, how come the dynamic is different from Michael Jackson? I watched Never Leave.
It's white kids
leaving Neverland. I've never been a huge Michael Jackson fan, but I had talked to people who told me they were going to refuse. They weren't going to watch it. They didn't want to hear the opposition. And I told them, I'm like, well, that's bias. And they were like, yeah, that is bias. So then I started calling them Trump supporters, because I felt like if you can't be open enough to see what's happening in your eyes, then I think I just think all that's cap. So what I was saying, like going back to R. Kelly, like he was doing this shit in people's eyes. Michael Jackson was blatantly hanging around 10-year-old little boys. He is a grown ass man. Exactly. White boys.
What the hell you want from them? Like, you know what I mean?
Mike Jack, no, he only could be like manipulate. Well, look, man.
I don't think he was being malicious. No, I think the dynamic with R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, I think the dynamics are different, and I think that's why people choose like where to level it. I think that's why people find Michael Jackson a little bit more acceptable, especially in the black community, versus R. Kelly. Michael Jackson, he was soft spoken, or he wanted to be Peter Pan. He was childlike. Okay, cool, I get that, especially from a psychological point. But let's be black and white. The nigga was an adult. He was grown as fuck, and he was sleeping in beds with little boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just feel like rest in peace to the man. But I think it's just a different way of how is being perceived now that he's passed away. So there's not necessarily a thing he has to pay for now that he's not alive. So
is that better? Do you think that benefits him? The fact that that this conversation is coming up while he's gone versus if he was alive?
I feel like if he was alive, he would have probably had some R. Kelly stuff going on. But now that he's passed away, it's like they're more, what's that word I'm looking for? They feel more sorry about the situation. They give more sympathetic attention to this now since he's gone. Kind of like if like a rap artist passes away, people appreciate their music more. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, that's why I don't think it's going to be as big as it's getting put on R. Kelly.
That's exactly what happened. And he passed away now. So I feel like niggas kind of just overlook, the fact that, I think that we know his transgressions, and we've gotten to a point where I ain't gonna necessarily say forgot, but maybe we forgave him in a public type of point of view.
Forgave Michael Jackson?
And so we don't view him as a bad guy about it, but bringing this back, reopens those old wounds in terms of, it's still sick as fuck what the nigga did, and it's still rape, but like,
do you believe he was legitimately raping little boys or molesting?
It's the same thing.
Not necessarily.
Molesting
can happen without penetration.
It's still rape. We can rape with
rape,
rape is with penetration.
Yeah. Because a child's mind, like, it's not even fully developed into the sexual thing to do with another person. So it can mentally mess somebody's up. Like these children they
might think it's acceptable.
Yeah. So as they grow up, you know what I mean? Like
boys will be boys. Boys experiment. And going back to what you just said, Mark, I think Michael Jackson, because based on the documentary, again, like I'm not really a Michael Jackson fan, but I do believe the timeline. So what Michael Jackson, like Jackson 5, he really started popping he was either 9 or 11. So he was introduced to
a lifestyle, right?
Like sexual nuance. He was introduced to that. And I think he never really had the opportunity to experience himself. So when he got older, like when he got in his 20s, he was still awkward. He didn't really have any friends. His brothers clearly were getting more pussy than him. So as boys do, they experiment. So I think he was confiding in his friends. And that's where it came where he was fondling them or they were fondling him or they were engaging in oral sex. Do I believe he was straight out penetrating little boys? No. Do I believe he was jacking them off and sucking them off? Yeah, I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, according to the documentary, they were saying some things was going on like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And no matter like how you said, Ange, black and white, if we put this together, like that shit is sick. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I put myself in a position, if I had a child and I knew he was experiencing these things with another grown man, that would infuriate me.
Or just even as a father.
Yeah, like that's not
watching the documentary, like you fathers are okay with Michael Jackson sending faxes like little son and I love you.
But you know, while I was watching it, I did notice that the mother said that they kind of just cut the dad off because it was just her and the son. That's all Michael Jackson would be paying for. Like, bring you and your son out. I'll pay for everybody's trip.
Yeah, they weren't. He wasn't really talking to the dad.
Wasn't really fucking with the dad, and it explains why. Because nigga, you gonna get beat up.
So these niggas is weak because the dads ain't standing up. They ain't holding down the fort. They ain't doing shit
at all.
Definitely, y'all. If y'all watching,
and Michael Jackson wasn't.
You know, protect your children. You know, make sure they on the right path.
Biggest takeaway from this, nigga, is really protect your children and don't be a fucking sellout for these motherfuckers who
no money and none of that.
Yeah, like, say they don't nobody know what's best for your child but you, man. Shit, man. Fuck that other shit.
So I mean, like like it's pros and cons to Michael Jackson. Like he was a very talented man, but also this is disturbing to hear. Also, you know what I mean. So
and this ain't the first time either. You know,
he's a legend. Case. But you know, it just sucks how these legendary, talented musicians, artists can be caught in things like this, like. These type of scandals is just real, like, disturbing. Like,
my thing is though, the media always want to reach for the black man, and these motherfuckers don't ever, nigga, tell everybody's story. Then, motherfucker, y'all niggas want to pick. R. Kelly get a story, Lifetime.
The Me Too movement.
Michael Jackson get a story. Like I was saying, Bill Cosby gonna get a fucking story next about.
Yeah, like he's already in jail.
Some shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who's next? Are we gonna do these white folks?
Do you think the reason why our black entertainers are being broadcasted and why there's so much attention on them because of the ratio, like the population, like there's so many white people, and because there's so many white people, there aren't as many stories being covered versus, not to say that there's so little black people, but because the music industry is so heavily impacted by black culture, that's why the media is exposing.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Is that a bad thing though?
We put so much influence in the world and just in society, period, that, at this point, it's about. They've been trying to. I ain't trying to say. I ain't trying to give them. Trying to even reach with trying to say that they making an agenda to, you know, shoot down black men and all this, and they using them as pawns. But, you know, when we just, you know, where the fuck is Subway Man's? I keep going back to Jared. Where the fuck is Jared's fucking rape story?
But would people care about Jared?
I mean, why not?
Because, I mean, rape is rape.
Real shit.
You know?
Rape is rape.
Yeah, no matter what the color. Like,
because it's a music artist that... I'm sorry, Mark, I cut you off.
No, all I was going to say is, you know, when it comes to the racial thing, like the whole black and white or Hispanic, like, first off, disclaimer, I support my black people. I'm not all the way in it, like, with the whole black power and this and that, but, you know, according to what we're seeing, it does kind of make you think that way. Like, are they trying to break down our community? And you know what I mean? Like, why? I do see what you mean. Like, why aren't these other races exploited?
We talking about iconic entertainers. We're not talking about.
And a lot of
we talking about Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
And R. Kelly.
Though it may be true, though they both may be sick motherfuckers. Like, there's some white niggas that's sick too. I ain't saying that, you know.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Apple's an apple.
Yeah.
You feel me? A rapist is a rapist, or a child molester is a child molester. But, you know, it's so much direction, and I mean, it's so much media just put on, you know, them two, like them three, really. R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and MJ.
All right, let me ask another question real quick. I don't know. So for everyone who's watching, I'm just throwing scenarios out there. I'm not putting any allegations. Who's the hottest male artist in Colorado right now?
Male artist in Colorado. That's a really good question. I know.
What do you mean? Like rapping?
Whatever.
Singing?
I just need a person to go with the next.
We gotta use Trev, man.
Okay, we gotta use Trev. Let's use Trev, okay? We ain't Trev. Disclaimer, okay? We're just using you because you're the hottest nigga who's in Colorado right now.
Yeah, shout out to Trev. Yeah.
If it came on the news that Trev bought a big ass house in Highlands Ranch and the nigga had a Ferris wheel and he had a zoo and he had trains, and you know this nigga's grown as fuck and he started having sleepovers with 10-year-old little boys.
I'll be like, that's some weirdo shit, bro.
Yeah.
Could not.
That's not. That almost falls in the same.
And hold on, are you saying that that's what we've been seeing with Michael Jackson?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's because white people are fucking weird, bro.
Valid point.
But
okay.
Niggas love that nigga too, but niggas love Michael Jackson.
Niggas are delusional.
I don't even know what to say no more, bro. I'm done. I'm done with life.
You don't want to talk about it no more.
Man. I'm absolutely done because you just, like, that's real shit though. But I don't think we knew that growing up as young kids. I don't think we were looking at it like that. I think we were just listening to the music. But we know that now. But older generation...
So it's the parents to blame and all the adults. All you adults in the 90s, y'all knew Michael Jackson was too motherfucking old.
Yeah, to be sleeping with little boys, like, man. So I feel like once he passed away, there was more of a pity for him. So a lot of comedians stopped talking about that. If y'all noticed, there was a silence on that for a while.
They grew up on rape culture too, though. That's
yeah.
The generation before us. That's why they think it's okay.
So this just opens up to, there's many people that could be doing this in this day and age now that aren't even famous. You know what I mean? So what we have to do is take a look out, like, and watch out for these kids to be ever exposed to things like that. And that's where we believe great parenting is definitely needed.
I just have to also put this, I just got to mention this. So today I was at this like jumpy place in Westminster, and it was funny because they started playing Billie Jean, and I just started cracking the fuck up to myself.
How ironic.
How ironic.
How
right?
fucking ironic.
Talking about these girls, nigga, Mike Jack wasn't fucking nobody but little ass boy.
He wasn't fucking nobody because those kids are not his children.
Bruh.
Wow.
And one of the guys had even said that, like, Michael Jackson asked him to, like, be his donor. He couldn't have kids. So I have another question, not to be funny. Can you jack off so much to the point to where you can't produce?
I don't think so. I
don't know.
I think like sperm is always like recreated. You know, so I mean, you'd have to be jacking off like 1,000,000 times a day, which I think is impossible.
Yeah, like
you gotta lose all that.
You can't bust no more nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think that's possible, but apparently it is.
Yeah. I think like some people just have like some kind of dysfunction when it comes to like sperm count. They get a low sperm count. Some people have it, some people don't.
Okay.
So I don't think jacking off would be like, you know, or masturbation for men wouldn't be like taking away their sperm count, like, because they're always being reproduced. It's kind of like blood. When you cut yourself and you bleed, more blood comes. You know.
I'm over here yawning. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been a late night.
Oh.
For us, you know what I'm saying? You're doing your research over there, hands, or what?
What you thinking?
Yeah. So, you know, I don't really know if this is a credible source. It's on Google, but it does say too much masturbation can create erectile dysfunctions, premature ejaculation, thinning of or watery semen. The sex life after marriage can greatly affect due to that. Both can have unsatisfied sex lives. Masturbation weakens the immune system. It can create constipation. It corrupts the digestive system. It disturbs the functions of the blood. It negatively affects hormones. It weakens the sex organs and pelvic muscles. It is a disease creator. Later, you may start getting aches and pains anywhere in the body and diseases cropping up. It can cause depression, confusion, and remove motivation from deep inside you.
Wow.
It sounds like that's why Michael Jackson died. That
Yeah.
nigga was masturbating too much. He was jacking off little boys, and little boys were jacking him off, and that's why he couldn't produce any kids.
Fellas, two a day. Okay, that's minimum 2 a day. No, maximum 1 to 2 a day. Don't be jacking off.
Look, ain't nothing wrong with playing with your squeegee, man. But, bro.
I'm a person who likes to be rational, and I'm sorry for all you Michael Jackson fans. I ain't trying to rain on your parade. I mean, rest in peace to the man. I just like calling shit for what it is, and I truly believe that that's what he was doing. So, people who don't believe it, I'm calling you Trump supporters. I'm dead ass.
Yeah, that's
People's
crazy.
loyalty to Michael Jackson is the same loyalty people have to Trump.
And R. Kelly.
And R.
Yeah.
Kelly.
It's like their music was great, but as people,
They have that emotional attachment.
Do you still listen to R. Kelly?
I mean,
if he comes on,
I ain't been bumping no
R.
R. Kelly in a while, but you know, it ain't getting played from my phone now. I ain't got no R. Kelly CDs now.
No public announcement?
No, if R. Kelly just playing, you know, if I know the tunes, I'm
Then
gonna sing that shit
along.
because I
Yeah,
know that shit.
karaoke night. I'm singing that thing. Yeah,
I ain't
but
just
that doesn't mean that we
cut
support
that R.
him.
Kelly on.
Yeah, like it doesn't mean we necessarily support R. Kelly or Michael Jackson because they both got classics. You know what I mean? And when you hear a classic song and you actually know it, you can't help but to sing along. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just we're not just really into them. Like we in the back of our minds, we know they both did something wrong.
So
know?
we agree that they're legends, but we also agree that
Niggas
they
ain't
are, their allegations are true.
Yeah, niggas ain't perfect. I think that comes with understanding that in life. Hell, shit, nigga, we ain't perfect either.
Yeah.
We got our own.
Yeah,
We ain't perfect, but just because...
downs. But we ain't raping and all
doing all that
other
extra shit.
And just because it was happening and people are mentioning it 10 years later, it doesn't make the situation any less important than if it was addressed immediately. I do believe like the sense of urgency should have been there, but I also do believe that the parents were whack. I believe just how the world and the industry and everything that was going on at the time probably affected a lot what was going on and gave them and enabled them to do what they were doing.
Yawning over here too. You contagious, man.
Am I boring you?
Oh no, you're not.
Not chill.
Yeah, I just think it's unfortunate, but I think that people do need to realize what people do. Speaking of too, R. Kelly and Michael Jackson are so heavily talked about. I wanted to bring in Chris Brown because I seen memes of people cracking jokes of like they're gonna put a Lifetime movie out on Chris Brown.
And I feel like, man, like watching Chris Brown, I know he's a very talented man. I don't know, like from behind the camera and all that, I don't know the man personally, but I feel like he's a very positive guy and he just wants peace in his life. So for people to keep bringing up, you know, like we all know about the whole Rihanna and, you know, like with him being upset and being on camera, I feel like people need to stop putting pressure on this man and just let him live his life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
you know, like you got a daughter.
I ain't got no opinion of, you know, Chris Brown and what the fuck he got going on. I still do pay his shit though. I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with Chris crazy.
Hell yeah.
Do you believe like his rape allegations? I know
he got rape allegations.
Well,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
he had the allegations that happened like a few weeks ago when he was in Paris. They ended up dropping them.
That one, yeah, and that's
like,
where.
Nigga, wait a minute.
That's where it's like the opposite. Yeah, I know, right? For real. But
he was like, "That bitch is lying."
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, like for somebody,
I
to
believe
just,
that them hoes was lying.
For somebody to just come out of nowhere and just say, "Oh yeah, he raped me," and
Chris
you know,
Brown's
like,
getting pussy.
Yeah, like
Chris Brown's getting more pussy than Michael Jackson and R. Kelly.
Now, niggas like Mike Jack and maybe R. Kelly, you could be like, okay, them is two old weirdo ass, grew up in the
but
era.
Chris Brown is getting pussy.
But Chris Brown? Nah, Chris Brown ain't worried about it.
Here's my thing. Like, Chris Brown, he's like the singing sensation. Like, I remember at one point back in the MySpace days, like, I know about like 20 chicks I know right now was Chris Brown's wifey at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. We all grew up in that era, so I feel like a man like that don't gotta force his way to get some pussy. I mean, like, come on, Chris fucking Brown. If he's just looking at it like, well, she ain't gonna give it to me. I know somebody who can. You know what I'm saying? So, unless, I don't know. Like, I don't think there's nothing really that special about that girl to make Chris Brown want to force his way up on it. And
Chris Brown got bitches. He got $1 million hoes. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think R. Kelly and Michael Jackson really had that type of pull like the way he did. You know what I mean? And
I think it's just a different era, really.
Yeah.
Not that it's a different era, but I think it was different for Chris Brown growing up, even though he grew up like in a public eye in a type setting. Though,
do you think Chris Brown believes Michael Jackson was molesting little boys since he looked up to Michael Jackson as a dancer?
I think he looks at I think he looks at the good side of Michael Jackson. I think he doesn't want to focus on like, I mean, whether it's true, whether it's not true. I think the man was a very talented guy, so I think that's possibly what he may be thinking in his mind. Like, a lot of people don't want to view somebody that like, damn, well, this nigga, he done did something bad behind such and such back, but who I see right now is a genuine person. So it's hard to just take that away from, it may be in the back of his mind, but, you know, who knows? We're not in Chris Brown's mind, so we don't know. What you think?
I think it's like part of an acceptance thing for him at this point. Like, he's already accepted what it is, you know.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna change what Michael Jackson's perception of him is probably in his eyes. So, shit, regardless of whether that may be true or not, I don't think it gonna.
And at this point in time, he's dead.
Yeah, it don't have no standing effect on him. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Him, Usher.
Yeah, we all seen that Man in the Mirror performance.
You believe?
I'm like, who we gonna talk about now?
I was gonna say something. Do you believe that Usher was given herpes?
Shit, I mean,
let's do a quick rundown of artists. Who you think is about to be the next person who gonna come out that was fucking little girls or little boys?
Damn, I mean,
in the black community. Oh man.
At this point, we bullying them.
Yeah, I mean, Nick can't just guess. Shit, that's hard. Yeah. Who's weird that's black right now? That's just like,
what's
like
that?
This nigga
Tech Nine
be fucking with.
What's that boy Tyler the Creator?
I don't know enough.
Tyler the Creator is bisexual. I think Tyler Creator is bisexual. I don't think he would be molesting little boys or girls.
I don't know. I can't even. I'm not even really in touch with hip hop nowadays. Like, it's so many.
Yeah. The lils, all the dudes with the dreads and the tats.
Yeah, there's so many of
face.
them little dudes now that is weird and been accused of all that other kind of shit nowadays already. Like
6'9".
6'9".
Yeah.
But see, and you know, that's okay. Let's talk about that. Well, I don't want to talk about like the whole Rico thing, but like, you know, when people were talking about like 6'9's rape allegations or his sexual intercourse or whatever happened, the girl was what, 14 and the nigga was 17 years old, and people were blowing it out of the water.
Oh, okay.
Because of his stand, like where he is in life.
I didn't know that was the age difference. I mean,
It was a lot closer than what R. Kelly and Michael Jackson got.
Yeah,
going on.
that's different though. That's
I feel like that's not even
And
that bad.
being 17,
Like technically, you are still
14
underage.
I
is
was
a
fucking high
freshman.
schoolers as a
17 is a
17-year-old.
senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, 17 to 14. He's not like 18 and she's 12. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 18, you're a senior.
I
12,
feel
she's
like
in
as
middle
a
school.
senior,
Yeah.
and freshman, sophomore, you good. You in the clear.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like with a lot of like people that's famous, it's just so easy to exploit them because there are people just waiting for them to fuck up. Like, man, what you gonna do wrong now? You know, instead of just congratulating them on their sales, they award-winning things, anything going on, their views. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to focus on the right shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think the music industry has too much sex in it? Like, do you guys think we sexualize shit?
Man,
That's a part of
everything's
it.
over-sexualized.
I feel like that's a part of it. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
over-sexualize everything.
sex sells.
That's
You
why.
know? Yeah, like without sex, R&B music wouldn't be R&B music.
Like,
R.
know?
Kelly wouldn't be who
could
he
we
is.
all
Right.
walk around naked and niggas wouldn't be walking around with boners from seeing naked women just because it was natural and like it wouldn't be like, oh shit, I'm horny. I see a naked woman. It would be like, oh, it's just a naked woman. You know what I'm saying? That's the mindset difference. Some niggas be like, oh, it's some pussy out. Some niggas be like, oh, it's some pussy out.
It'd be definitely easy to slide in them things, though.
I agree with that totally, especially like being in the strip club. Like me seeing naked women or just being around that, like it don't really bother me or anything like that. But because like I used to be in the strip club, but I used to see like people who would come into the strip club, or especially like even women, men too, but it would be different. Like they'll be a little bit standoffish. It would be more awkward for them. Or even in like real life, like this morning I was laying naked in my bed and my sister's girlfriend walked in my room to use my bathroom and she was like, oh my bad. I'm like, girl, it ain't the first time you see me naked. It ain't gonna be the last time. Like it ain't nothing. Like it's nothing to me. So back to your point, Don, like I definitely believe that we over sexualize things too much. Because if it was every day for us, we wouldn't have a reaction to it, or it wouldn't be such a big deal.
We might need to do that. Just start walking around this bitch naked. Like, what if we was a naked ass society? Like I think that would dramatically change how we view
Perceive things, yeah. That would be.
sex, genders, all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas wouldn't get excited, but it's about teaching that shit at a young age too. You got to teach at a young age that, you know, like titties are natural. Like we're taught at a young age, oh, naked body, you don't want to see it, it's covered up, you know, it's explicit. And I feel like maybe we do need to start teaching more of, you know, body acceptance at a young age. Being naked is good, it's natural. I don't know.
It's fucked up because with that, we live in a world where it's like a thin line. What is it? Like I'm stuck between a hard place and a rock and a hard place. Do we teach sexuality at a young age, or is that exposing them?
Man, I think either you gonna do it or somebody else is.
Yeah, and curiosity
Real
kills
shit.
a cat.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit. You better be teaching them before something else catch them.
And with the amount of pedophilia that's going on, like I'm blessed that I have boys and not girls, because I don't know what the fuck I would do. I get nervous around men being around my sons. I'm like, but little girl, I wouldn't even know how to cope with that. especially like me being a woman and knowing like the trauma that I went through, especially when it comes from like being molested or being sexualized, being in the strip club, all those type of different things. Like that's the only reason why I'm hesitant on like agreeing with you if I agree that we should be a society that teaches sex early. I think it could be harmful, but I do believe it could be beneficial.
I think it's about being responsible about it too. Like, you know, teaching sex is not turning on a porno and, you know, this is sex. Like, nah, teaching sex is teaching, you know, body parts, you know, what are breasts, you know, what are they for, rather than
lactating.
You know, them you just suck titties or, you know,
they
fun to play with.
I'm gonna ask
you
y'all.
Know what I'm saying?
Did y'all ever have sex ed growing up?
I did.
Oh yeah.
I went to Sunrise Elementary. It's off of Quincy and Reservoir. I was in the 4th grade, and the 5th graders went through a sex ed class. They were giving out condoms. The boys had bags of condoms.
Wow. I feel like I don't know, like I think I had a sex ed class when I was in the 8th grade, and
that's more appropriate.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think maybe society should make a sex ed class starting from.
I think that's too late too, though, bro.
Like, what do you think the age is when?
When'd you lose your virginity?
When I was 17.
When'd you lose your virginity?
Shit, when I was like 15. I think it needs to start. Hell, honestly, I was grabbing booty in middle school. I ain't gonna lie.
Me too. Yeah,
I just thought it was first booty tag. It needs to start like 10, 11. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe even 12.
Man,
that's
8th grade.
Not 7.
That's too late.
You and I lost my virginity at
niggas is fucking in the
12.
7th grade. Like
12, you lost.
I lost my virginity at 12. Real shit. I started my period when I was 10, 11.
That's why.
It's crazy.
Like, how do we expect to keep up with that if we're not being realistic from the jump?
Or even understanding.
At least teaching the basics of sexuality to your kids. I ain't teaching something to nobody. I'm gonna teach my son though. Like at 5, like, yes, those are breasts, you know, but you need to recognize the difference between, you know, trying to sexualize them and, you know,
knowing that
what the intended use is for, and, you know, why they're there, and, you know, if you do see a woman naked, like, it's not to necessarily turn you on always. It's because it's natural.
From a learning, like an education standpoint.
Yeah.
Do you think rape culture is so hot right now because of the amount that we sexualize things? If we didn't sexualize shit so much, would there be a rape culture? If we didn't, we were having a conversation off topic and we were talking about Freaknik and like how that was very rape culture-y, but it was probably rape culture-y. I don't even know if that's a word. I'm making shit up. Because we are sexualizing like the ass, the titties, the twerking and all that shit. If we seen it just like a good time, would it be...
I think it's the way we perceiving things. You know what I mean? You know, like when you say sexualizing, the first thing I'm thinking about is, let's say, like Instagram. Us guys, like everybody, men and women, we know, like on Instagram, you know, you got the models, you got the girls that's showing off their goods and stuff, and you know, like we're all turned on by that. Even sometimes some women are turned on by that.
And some women are doing it for attention too.
Yeah, so I feel like, you know, showing those types of things, it's opening our minds to already sexualize them. Like that's something we cannot control. So, you know,
and I think that's where I say educating what needs to be sexualized. That way, you're not feeling like, you know, you see some titties and you get horny. You know what I'm saying? It's like that for some niggas. Some niggas, you see some titties and that turns me on. Me, I could look at some titties and, you know, make the decision on whether I want to be turned on at them titties or not. You feel me? Yeah. Some niggas really can't distinguish that difference. Some niggas is all sexuality about titties because that's all they known is, you know, ass and titties.
They give the pussy too much power.
Yeah.
Ow. Which is the last thing that I want to talk about, giving the pussy power. Robert Kraft, the Patriots owner, was caught buying pussy.
Damn it, Robert.
Is that a problem?
Damn, Robert, that's not a problem in my book, man. Go ahead and buy that pussy. Pay them bills, baby.
Yeah. We all pay for pussy some type of way, you know?
Yeah.
Taking to a movie, out to dinner, you still paying for
Do
pussy.
you think that he should receive some sort of consequences from the NFL, like from like an ethics standpoint?
That I feel like he's paying for pussy and they're giving it to them. They're giving it to him. It's a trade between them two.
It's mutual beneficial.
Yeah.
He's not raping hoes.
I don't think. Yeah.
Right. That's the difference. He's not
raping them. He is, you know.
All right.
He is saying, you got a service, I got some money.
Yeah.
You want it? 20 bands.
Yeah.
All right.
That's simple. Ain't nothing wrong. If you got it, spend it. These rap niggas be tricking on bitches and shit like that, man. Y'all leave Robert Kraft alone, man. Let that man get his pussy in peace. He old. He ain't got no wife. Nigga got 6 Super Bowls, man. He deserves him some pussy.
Let
that nigga get some pussy in peace.
And do you hear that? He is a billionaire paying for pussy. So for all you niggas talking about I'm never paying for pussy, woo, 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 woo.
With a little bit of money, y'all
Hey,
can
man.
definitely
She
do that.
pointed at me.
Well, hey, you guys, thanks for like kicking it with us, chilling with us, man. We definitely enjoyed this conversation. We're gonna have some new shit coming back with y'all. Definitely leave your comments, questions, opinions. If you want us to talk about something, yeah, just give us a holler. Catching Up Podcast.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Take care. Peace.